Right here on screen, you can see a pretty serious Google Ads account of an e-commerce brand where they made a bit more than €500,000 in revenue over the past 30 days at a ROAS of 17, which is pretty good stuff. But in today's video, what I want to do with you is I want to peel away all the excess ROAS and all the over-tracking and all the other issues that you typically see in most Google Ads accounts. And I want to show you step by step how you can focus on what really matters, how you can focus on cold traffic, and how to make sure that you get as many new customers as possible from your Google Ads. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it. So this is an account I'm currently auditing for us here at Cartlift, a prospect e-com brand, and they have done a really good job. If you look here, they have so many different campaigns. They're doing a ton of things. And of course, all in all, it's a very, as I said, serious brand over here. But it's very safe to say that when you see something like 17 ROAS, you immediately think, okay, there is something over-tracking here, or there is something skewing towards, returning customers and so on and so forth. So in the very first step, what I've done here is I've cleared it up by removing all the intentional brand campaigns. What I mean with that is, of course, this account has a whole number of campaigns that are meant to be brand campaigns, that are meant to trigger when someone searches for their business's name so that they defend their position, so that they get more conversions into their account, and so on and so forth. So far, so good. We're still at a pretty good 7.5 ROAS, which is still way above e-commerce average, right? However, now here's where the important parts start. In the next sort of clearance step, we're now down to 4.5, right? Because here, as I said, this was only the intentional brand campaigns. So the search campaigns and shopping campaigns that basically said, brand search, brand shopping, you name it. But of course, as you can tell, most of the time, there are still many campaigns that are meant to be non-brand campaigns. But when you look under their hood, you will see that for the most part, they're just capturing brand searches also, okay? So here, we're still left with at least €220,000, which is quite the reduction from the original $500,000, but at least there are still many campaigns producing really good results. But what I did is I then checked, for some of them that had a very, unusually high ROAS, like here, 64, 190, 53, right? You don't get that from cold traffic unless you get like the occasional random conversion, of course, at like very low numbers. So I've done the cleanup there, and in this next step, now we're down to just 4.5. And this is because the other campaigns that were meant to be non-brand, they had like 80, 90, 95% brand sort of numbers in them as well, okay? So you can see already how we went from more than $500,000 in revenue to now just below 100,000, which is a massive reduction, of course. And we aren't finished here, right? So there is still at least one more thing to do, and that is looking under the hood of the actual search terms for the remaining campaigns. Because what I've done here now in this final setup where I have all the filters that we previously applied still intact, now I'm looking at the search term report and I'm sorting based on conversions, and I'm further cleaning up and removing their brand names, okay? So with those campaigns that are still left, of course, there are still 5%, 10%, 20% of brand conversions and brand searches in there when you actually walk and go through them, okay? And one thing that I haven't even done here for the purpose of this video is all the different sorts of misspellings, right? Because there are still many searches here that basically refer to the brand name, but it's like a very common misspelling. And especially if you are a larger brand, those really add up. So you have to make sure that if you do a full analysis, they can sometimes account for another like 5 or 10% of your original brand conversions on top of what you already do. So at the final point of this, filtering process, we're now down to about €14,000 in ad spend, which is like, $17,000-ish in ad spend, right? At a ROAS of 4.8. But as I said, there still needs to be some stuff reduced. So let's say we are maybe in the range of like 4.2. This is still a pretty good ROAS if that is the final non-brand number, right? Because let's say 4x on pure cold traffic, that's still really, really good stuff. But the problem is really the total revenue number rather, right? It's not even that they're not that profitable here, because they are profitable even with pure non-brand, which is great. But if you look at those 67,000, and I know that when it comes to search terms, you have like the other category, So maybe that's in reality something like 75, 80,000. But then again, there's also some over-tracking going on because of the brand misspelling. So let's say this number here is fairly accurate. We're looking at 67,000 from the original more than 500K, right? So 600,000 something dollars down to something like $80,000. That is a huge problem. And that is, in this case, that's a huge reduction in revenue, but at least the final ROAS still makes sense and is still profitable for this brand. But the problem with that is that if you make your decisions based on that very top line level revenue, and as I said, I will talk about a few things that are very important here in a second. If you base your decisions on that, if you increase and set your Google Ads budgets based on this front end number right there, and also you grade the performance of like your agency or your ad manager or your in-house marketing person, whatever, based on this very top line revenue, this is like super misleading, right? Because if you compare this now to your Facebook numbers, which are generally more cold traffic, plus usually a lot of retargeting, all of a sudden everything becomes super skewed, right? Like as you have seen here, this massive reduction in revenue, and all of a sudden you are actually, or you should be questioning whether you want to, spend the difference of whatever 33,000 and 14,000 on pure brand, right? Because those 20-ish thousand euros you are effectively just spending on defending your brand position. Now, the reason why this is so common is this following chart here that I've created for you. There is a finite pool of traffic, which is the brand traffic, right? So let's say there is a brand-aware audience, and those might be like 5,000 people. If you are a more sophisticated brand, a bigger brand, right? If you're a very small brand, it's certainly not 5,000 a month. It's like way less than that. And you see a reported total ROAS of, let's say, 17x, because the entire Google revenue, of course, is highly skewed towards this super limited brand-aware audience. And for Google, as you can see with this arrow here, Google always defaults to these people. Because if you tell Google, hey, we have a target ROAS of 500, 600, 700%, Google is trying to get you the best customers to hit that, right? And it will notice, wait a second, there are people searching for your brand name right now, and they are converting exceptionally well. So let me try to get more of those. Whereas someone, in the cold traffic universe, as I called it here, where you have literally millions of potential new customers, and that's where you want to be, right? That's what you want to spend 95% of your attention on. There it's a lot more difficult. If you are selling, cosmetics, right? Someone searching for your exact brand name will be so much easier for Google to convert than someone searching for, I don't know, a specific makeup cream or whatever thing, right? So that is the exact reason why you have this issue. And also here, why this revenue chart will eventually stall massively. So your revenue is growing. And what I see with most brands is that eventually they hit this ceiling and they cannot make it through that ceiling for months and months and months, sometimes even years. I've audited account where they have been roughly at the same revenue level for like a year, maybe even with slightly declining ROAS, right? So the ROAS declines massively over time or slightly in a given, time frame. And that is because once all these brand-aware people are converted, there is no more room to grow, as long as you haven't positioned and set up the account in a way that it's completely focused on cold traffic, right? So you could say that at this point here, right, Google is still capturing more and more brand sales, but once all these 5,000 people that are finite, as we just discussed, once all of them are converted, or the realistic chunk of those are converted, there is no more room for Google to grow, and it realizes, wait a second, here I'm getting a 17x, here I'm getting a 4x, something doesn't add up here, and that's where you see this ceiling that you see with almost every Google Ads account, whether it's at 10,000 a month in ad spend, or 30, or 50, or 100. Doesn't matter what the exact number is. But most Google Ads account at some point will run into a ceiling, and that's much sooner than with, let's say, Facebook ads, right? Where you can normally scale a lot more before you run into any of these issues. The problem is that those are finite, the pool runs out, growth stalls, and the cold traffic universe is effectively unlimited and untapped, but Google has never been trained to find them. And that's the very important part here, train to find them. If you mix everything up so much, right? If you have all these things that are all over the place and you're telling Google that a conversion is a conversion and it doesn't matter where it's coming from, the algorithm will always skew towards those conversions that are technically less valuable rather than more valuable. And our entire strategy here at Cartlift is centered around breaking through this invisible ceiling and being completely focused on the cold traffic universe. Don't get me wrong, you still want to have those, right? You still want to defend your brand, you still want to get those conversions into your account because they will contribute to more optimization and so on and so forth. But it's absolute, it's crazy to be too focused on those and spend the majority of your ad dollars on just people who would convert anyway. So what you have to do here is, or there are a few points that you need to absolutely take away and that you have to implement. The first and most important is separate brand and non-brand, right? If you have mixed campaigns, that's absolutely terrible. Like, you will skew your reporting, you will skew your optimization, you will always have Google lean towards the brand conversions. Also, whenever possible, use audience exclusion lists, especially on PMax. Quite recently, Google announced that you can now use hard exclusion lists. So you can basically say, okay, I have let's say this is a PMax campaign, right? It spends $10,000 a month, but there is a lot of retargeting going on in there because that's, of course, also easier for Google to do. You can now tell Google that you don't want to target people that have been to your site before, which is super powerful because that turns your campaign into a pure cold traffic 100% campaign. And you know exactly that if that campaign converts, that's actually someone, as long as they aren't using your brand terms, someone that is a pure new cold customer. Then use negative keyword lists for brand across the entire account, right? So have one negative keyword list that is called brand or whatever, where you use all your brand words and misspellings and everything, and you literally attach that to every single campaign that is not a brand campaign. So with these two things here, right, removing or excluding retargeting audiences and excluding brand keywords, you can be pretty sure that everything that's left is more or less entirely cold and unbranded. And then last but not least, of course, you want also bid higher for new customers than for recurring ones. If you tell Google, feel free to spend up to $20 on acquiring a customer, no matter if it's new or returning, it will always have such an easier time doing this for the returning person. But for you, it's actually the opposite, right? Like the new customer is so much more valuable than the returning customer because you might get the returning customer from like an email campaign or, they just literally typing in their name in the browser bar or whatever else it might be. So this is exactly what you need to keep in mind if you want to get your Google ads to the point where they can perform as good as possible with maximum cold traffic profits. And if this sounds a bit complicated because you have a large brand, tons of ad spend, it's super messy, you have 100 campaigns or whatever else it might be, PMax black box, then make sure to check the link here in the description to get to cartlift.co, our site where you can request a little scale audit, which is entirely free, no strings attached, no nothing. And I will personally take a look at your account, tell you exactly what's possible, where the ceiling might be, if you have, literally the potential to double or triple your total ad spend and revenue. And yeah, if that sounds interesting, make sure to head to the link in the description, book a call, and we will take a look. I hope this was helpful. Please leave a like, please subscribe for more Google Ads for e-com content, and I hope to see you in the next video again. Thanks and bye-bye.